All right, what's up, people? I know everybody's just been begging me. Please make another Q video. Or wait, I think I got that one wrong. I think somebody said, please stop making Q videos. Guess what's happening? I'm going to do a deck breakdown and why I think that even though I have been beaten with this deck before, and one time it was brutal, lost 3 in a row. Guy was doing like 800 damage per turn. It was just insane. But you don't run into decks like that all the time. So what makes this deck work? Okay, so there's first thing you have to understand is there's 2 types of cards. There's the cards that you never play. Eternal Flame is one. You want this early because basically it hurts you 5, but it hurts them 20 for every card. So it's a very uneven damage, distribution, meaning it hits you too, but it hits them much harder. That's one you want to leave that in your hand because it does this you see, it says at the start. So that happens every turn. So the longer they sit on their cards, it makes them forced to play their cards because otherwise they don't play the card, it's 40 because it's cumulative. Another one you don't want to play is I. Square root of -1. Why? See what it says. Start. First of all, you get +8 power. And that's cumulative. So every turn, +8. Just overall damage. But then at the start, one of your opponent's cards in hand loses 16 for 2 turns. Which is like, basically you're basically cursing a card of theirs every turn. So that one you want to leave in hand because it's cumulative. It keeps going. So another one, Iron Maiden. This one you want to leave in your hand. Now, there will be times when you have all 3 of these. You only have 5 cards in hand at a time. So if you have all 3 of those in your hand, you're basically only going to be able to play 2 cards every turn because you don't want to. Later on, you will play Iron Maiden. Later on in the game, because you see return for every round completed this game, gain +1 permanent energy each turn permanently. So normally you want to wait at least until until turn 3 to play this. That way you get +2, which makes your base energy go up to 9 replenishment per turn. So those 3 cards are the cards that you want to leave in your hand. You do not want to play them. Now the cards you want to play right away, we'll start off with the heavy hitters. Christmas Carol is a heavy hitter. 1 energy does 180. That's an absurd damage ratio. The only thing is it makes every card in your hand, it's in your hand or entire deck, an entire deck, costs 1 more energy to cast. But since this is a low energy deck, that really doesn't hardly ever come to backbite. And then this card right here, Kraus or Krasue, whatever. 3 energy, 100 damage. 3 energy, 100 damage. The only bad news is you have to win. Otherwise, next turn is going to be 3 for 50, which is still a good ratio. But no, this is a card you want to use early, as early as you get it. Like I say, the damage ratio is just insane. And, even if you're playing 5 full rounds, you're only going to get this card 3 times max. So the first time you need a win. Second time it doesn't matter. Win or lose, you still do the 100. Okay. And then another heavy hitter is Cheetah. 3 energy, 88. Now the rule of thumb is if it costs 3 energy, you should at least be doing 30. So it's a 1 to 10 ratio between energy and power or damage done. So 3 for 88 is fucking insane. So those are your heavy hitters. Then you have buffing cards. A bunch of buffing cards. So Anubis. Now you say, well, that's underwater. 3 only does 20. It is. But after you play him, when you return the card to your deck, you gain plus 20 power permanently per turn. So basically, you do 3 for 20, but then you also do 20 in perpetuity every turn from there on out. And of course, you want to have this guy played at least twice, because with him, and then also with the buff from I, you gain plus 8. So you theoretically later on in the game, you want to be plus 48. That means even if you play nothing, you do 48 damage. Even if you play no cards. So that's on the table. This is a card that is very deceptive. It has a secret ability. A secret ability, it's 0 energy, 0 power, but he gets buffed by other things, so he's rarely ever played for zero power. I mean, if you played a Christmas Carol, then he's going to cost 1 more, so he'll be 1 energy and then whatever power he has based on other card buffs. But what this guy does is that when you return him to your deck, don't worry about what it says on the card. We don't play it for what it says on the card, because I don't have only one Arts and Culture card. Arts and Culture, by the way, is my favorite category of cards, as you can probably see based on what you see me play. So, but I have stuff from, but again, this is what makes this card interesting, is that if you have cards from, they're called albums, so if you have cards from only 5 albums, which I do. If you go here, you'll see that. So like, we'll do deck stats. So you can see A and C, O and S, that's oceans and seas, life on land, history, and science. So see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't have anything from space, and I hate paleontology. Just hate it. Just really do. I'll never play a paleo deck. Although, a lot of times when I get crushed, it's by a paleo deck, which might explain why I don't like them. So if you meet that condition, which I do, only have from 5 albums, then you get plus 21 until played power on 9 cards. That's insane. That is literally insane. Because you just do the math. 9 times 21. So that 0-0 is not looking so 0-0 anymore, is it? Ark of the Covenant speaks for itself. 2 for 22, it carries this water. But if you draw it, a random card in your hand gains plus 70 until played. So you're buffing. Another buffer, Archangel. 2 cards gain plus 25 until played, and 1 card gains plus 30 permanently. So that's 50 plus 30, that's 80 in buffs on top of the 4 for 44, which carries its weight. We did Anubis already. Another buffer. Draw. Your cards in hand gain plus 12 until played. So this card too, that includes this card. So it's not 2 for 22. It's 2 for 34, and then every other card gets plus 12. This is a buff on return. Return. Your cards with 0 base energy, wherever they are, gain plus 23 until played. And your cards with base 1 base energy, wherever they are, gain plus 13 until played. So this is just all the small cards. So it works here, works here. Base energy. It doesn't matter what this guy did and plus this guy here, right? This guy here. These all get bonuses from this card. This guy here. And again, this is another buffer. Your cards, wherever they are, with 2 or less base energy gain plus 22 for 4 turns. It's basically a whole fucking round. So, or longer than that, actually, if you play it right. So then you get into some of the ones that are curses. So like the power 0. This hits big cards. So your opponent's cards in hand with 50 or more base power, those are your heavy hitters, lose 49 power and cost -1. It makes them cheaper, but it makes them do less damage. So if they have a heavy hitter, like for example this card, it would lose 49. So it would only do 3 for 51. So it doesn't eliminate the damage, but it kind of, you know. This guy again. This is one you just leave in your fucking hand. You do not play this card at least until round 3. An opponent's random card in hand loses 25 power this round, and a random card in your hand gains 15 power this round. So basically, it's a differential of what, 40? So that's just you just leave it there, and it just does that over and over again. This guy right here, the draw power you're not using, because I'm not playing a Secret Societies deck, but the play power is what you're using. 2 random cards in your opponent's hand lose 20 power permanently, and it's 3 for 30, so it carries this weight, and it's a curse on 2 cards. 2 of their cards lose power permanently. It doesn't come back. You can buff it up with other shit. Now Pomeranian, this guy's funny. The all other dogs cards in both players' hands lose 15 power for 2 turns. It's just a bonus if I'm playing against a dog deck. But what I'm really here for is the return power. This card gains plus 32 permanently. It's already overweight at 1 for 16. So then it becomes 1 for 48 the next turn. And then so on. You want to have this guy out early. You want to get this guy rolling, because he'll become a powerhouse later in the game if you get that far. And then this guy. Fun guy, dude. Fun guy. First of all, you do a negative 40 to a random card. It could be one they're playing. It could be one in their hand. It's just random. But that's negative 40 until played. So like you're doing, that's an additional 40 damage. So you're doing 1 for 49 technically. But the return power is what you're using it for. Steal 2 energy from your opponent. So that means you gain 2 energy, but they lose that 2 energy. That's the most important part of that play, because that frustrates them. So basically the way this whole thing works is that, the multiverse. Probably one of the most underrated cards in the game. It has so many powers. 2 on draw. So as soon as you draw it into your hand, you're getting these 2 things. A random card in your hand gains plus 11 permanently, and a random card in your opponent's hand loses 11 power permanently. That's huge. That's a swing of 22. And then play, your cards in hand gain plus 11 power until played. So on the way out, it's doing you favors. So the way this deck works is the versatility of it. It doesn't matter what 5 cards I get dealt to me out of the 18. You have to have 18 in your deck, and you can't have 17. You can't have 19. It has to be exactly 18. So every card has to have a purpose. But no matter what set of cards that I draw, it's going to work together. I'm going to get at least 1 card that's going to sit on the bench. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to get at least 1 card that's going to sit on the bench. Hopefully about 2. My ideal is 2. I don't want all 3, but whatever. I only have 3 that are that way. You know what I'm saying? And then you want at least 1 heavy hitter. And even Archangel could be considered a heavy hitter, just based on the buff. You want a heavy hitter, so you want to go out there rolling hard, and get them out of your hand. That way you free up space. Everything is about freeing up space, because every card in here buffs every other card in here, or it nerfs the cards in their deck. So whereas I start doing more damage as the game goes on, they start doing less damage. And cards like this make it happen. Just a card, unassuming looking card, but you leave it on your bench. Your cards burn 5, theirs burn 20. It's a huge differential there. And this guy, 9 cards get plus 21. Give me a break. It's unfair at a certain point, you know what I'm saying? And then little cards like this, with 2 or less base energy, gain plus 22. And then you see that most of my deck consists of cards that fit that criteria, or at least about half of it. So that's what you want to do. And then this guy, it will give you the power bonus every turn. So everything just kind of fits together neatly into this seamless fucking, like, doesn't matter what 5 cards I get, there's going to be at least one that's going to sit there, and then there's going to be, you know, between the other 4, there's 3 I can play. Because everything is low energy. So I'll at least be able to play 2 cards every turn no matter what. And then as it goes on, I start getting energy buffs. Everything starts getting better and better. And to the point where I can play an Iron Maiden and not really give a fuck about it. So, anywho, yeah, that's the breakdown that nobody asked for. But this is a fun game. Like I say, this deck is, a lot of these cards are almost impossible to get. But it's okay, I have them. So that's what makes me cool, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I'm the loser making a fucking video about a fucking internet card game that nobody plays except me and a bunch of bots, I think. I don't know. I'm kidding.